All right, guys, so hopefully at this time your study guide is completely done and you are here just to check your answers for your test. That's the best way to prepare for your test. All right, so let's look at the first three problems. So number one, as for the slope of line A, so we're going to make a triangle. We're going to write rise over run. So it's 1, 2, 3. Our rise is 3, our run is 1. And it is positive, so 3 over 1, 3 divided by 1 is just 3. Number two, as for the y-intercept of graph B, it's a little hard to tell. It looks like it's between 0 and 1. So that's a terrible question. If they'd asked for the y-intercept of A, we would say it's negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Of C, we would say it's positive 3. But this one, it's hard to tell. It doesn't exactly go through 0, 0. So anyway, we're going to pretend it goes through 0, 0. That's a terrible question because it doesn't have an exact coordinate, but whatever. All right, letter C. So we're going to have to, and able to write an equation of the line, we're going to have to find our slope. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. And the line is going down and to the right. So the slope is negative 5. So negative 5x. And our y-intercept is positive 1, 2, 3. Positive 3. Okay. All right. What's next? What's the equation of the line that has a slope of 8/3 and contains the point 0.03? Well, they give us the y-intercept in this point because x is 0. When x is 0, the y value is the y-intercept. So since we already know our slope is 8/3, we're going to write y equals 8/3 x. And we know that our y-intercept is positive 3. All right. What about number 5? What's the equation of the line that has a slope of 0 and contains this point? Well, if we have an undefined slope or a slope of 0, we think of Vux-Hoy. We think of this acronym because U means undefined and this O right here means a 0. Horizontal lines have a 0 slope and there's only a y in the equation. So I know my equation for any horizontal line only has a y in it. And where will I get the y value? I get it from the coordinate negative 4, 10. 10 is in the y place. So my entire equation is y equals 10. All right, number 6, clear this out. I need to write the equation of the line. I have 2 points. So the first thing I need to do is find the change in y over the change in x to get the slope. So how does y change? What's the difference between negative 2 and 3? Negative 2 minus 3. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. And then what about the difference between 8 and 5? 8 minus 5 is positive 3. So my slope is negative 5/3. So now that I have that part, I'm going to use my slope-intercept formula, which is y equals mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. Now I'm going to plug in what I have, the information that I have. I'm going to use the first coordinate to plug in x and y. So y is 3. M is negative 5/3. My x is positive 5. And my b, I don't know. So now I'm going to bring everything else down. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25 over 3 plus b. And now I would add, how do I get rid of negative 25/3? I'm going to add 25/3 to both sides. So I'm going to add 3 plus 25/3. Add 25/3 to this side. It makes this go away. And I'm going to use my calculator. So 3 plus 25/3 is 34/3. So my slope is negative 5/3. My y-intercept is 34/3. So what is my equation? My equation is y equals -5/3 x plus 34/3. Okay. Moving on. Number 7, what's the equation of the line that has a slope of -4 and contains the point -3/8? So we're going to use our y-intercept formula. We have an x and a y value, so I'm going to plug in 8 for y. -4 is our slope, times x, which is -3. Now I'm going to multiply together -4 and -3, which is +12. Then I would subtract 12 from both sides. So my y-intercept is -4. So the equation is y equals -4x minus 4, because I just solved for b right there. -4x minus 4. Number 8, what's the equation of the line that contains these 2 points? I'm going to find the change in y over the change in x. So -4 minus 2 over 4 minus 6. So -4 minus 2 is -6. 4 minus 2 is -2. -6 divided by -2 is +3. So my slope is 3. And now I'm going to use my formula. So I'm going to use the second one here. So my y is 2. My slope is 3 times x is 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. And then when I subtract 18 from both sides, I get my slope is -16. So I have both parts of my equation. So my answer is y equals 3x minus 16. And that's the answer. Number 9. Oh, there's so many of these. All right, 3 minus 1 is 2. 3 minus -4 is 7. And then I'm going to use one of these formulas. So I'm going to do y equals mx plus b. Doesn't matter. I'll use the second one. It doesn't matter. My y value is 3. My m is 2/7. My x value is 3. So when I multiply 2/7 times 3, I get 6/7 plus b. And then I'm going to subtract 6/7 from both sides. I'm going to use my calculator. 3 minus 6/7 is 15/7. 15/7. So my slope and my y-intercept. So y equals 2/7 x plus 15/7. All right, and then number 10, -7 minus 5. -7 minus 5 is -12, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So am I allowed to divide by 0? In my calculator, if I type in 12 divided by 0, I get an error. So that means I have an undefined slope. So what do I think of if I have an undefined slope? I think of Vux. I know that my line is a vertical line, and I know that there's only an x in the equation. Well, what is the value of both of my x's? It's the same number, 4. So the equation of the line is x equals 4. That's the whole answer, x equals 4. All right, number 11 and 12, we're going to write the equation in slope-intercept form and then graph. So this one's already in slope-intercept form. So where do I start? I start with my y-intercept, 0, 1, +1, and my rise over run. So it's a negative slope. So I'm going to go down 2 and write 1. So I'm going to go down 2 and write 1, down 2, write 1, and I could do it again and again until I run out of space. And then the hard part is I'm going to make a straight line. There it is. All right, number 12, I got to put it in y equals form. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I have 2y equals negative x plus 6. I got to divide everything by 2. So this is gone. Think of this as a negative 1. So my slope is negative 1/2 x plus 6 divided by 2 is positive 3. So where do I start graphing? I start at my y-intercept, 0, 3. My slope is negative. My rise is 1, so I'm going to go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And there is my line. All right, number 13, let's solve for y. So we're going to subtract 9 from both sides. So we have negative 3y equals negative 5x minus 9. Now divide every single term by negative 3. So these go away. Negative divided by negative is positive 5/3. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is positive 3. So where do I start by graphing? My y-intercept is at 0, 3. This time I have a positive slope, so I'm going to go up 5, right 3. So from here I go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, 1, 2, 3. Obviously I'm off my graph, so I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to go down 5, left 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. And there is my dot. And when you're done, make sure you have a positive slope. I missed it, but I just can't graph with this thing. All right, so what about number 14? I'm going to take away my 3x from both sides. So I have negative y equals a negative 3x plus 0. And then I need a positive y, so I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. So y is equal to negative divided by negative is positive 3x plus 0. Of course, I don't write plus 0, but that reminds me about that my origin is the y-intercept plus 0. There it is on 0. I can make this a fraction, 3/1, and it's positive. So I'm going to go up 3, right 1, up 3, right 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. And I could do it again, 1, 2, 3, 1. And there's my line, kind of. All right, number 15, it says write the following sequence in slope-intercept form. So remember when we did this and we added like a t-chart and said, okay, our first term is -4, our second term is 3, our third term is 10, so on and so forth. So what would our 0 term be? So our 0 term would be, these are, how are these changing? They're increasing by 7, by 7, by 7. So 7 less than this would be what? -11? Yep. So my y-intercept is -11. So my slope is +7. So 7x, and my y-intercept is -11. So that's the equation. And then it says number 12, I think it means 15. Find the 100th term. So if I plugged in a 100 right here, so y equals 7 times 100 minus 11. So that would be 700 minus 11, which would be 689 would be the 100th term. We hadn't really done any of those. I don't think so. All right, what's the slope? So we're going to do the change in y over the change in x. So 4 minus 8 over 0 minus a -7. So 4 minus 8 is -4, minus a minus, so we do bam bam over +7, -4/7. What's the equation in slope-intercept form? So this one is no math required. They give us the slope and look, they give us the y-intercept because 0 equals x. So no math involved. -5 is our slope and +4 is our y-intercept. Now number 19, find the y-intercept given. It just wants the y-intercept. So we're going to use our formula y equals mx plus b. So our slope, oh, here's our x and here's our y. So we'll plug in 7 for our y. Our slope is 7/5 times the -5. I'm going to go ahead and put that over 1 plus b. So these cancel. This is left a -1. Okay, so 7 is equal to 7 times -1 is -7. And then if I add 7 to both sides, my y-intercept is 14. Because 7 plus 7 is 14. All righty, they go the wrong way. Yep. So we'll write the slope, the equation in slope-intercept form, given the slope and the y-intercept. They give us both. They give us the slope and the y-intercept. So no math involved. We're just plugging in m, and we're plugging in b. Write the equation of the line that contains these 2 points. So the change in y, so that's -8 minus 6 over the change in x, -4 minus 3. So this is -14 over -7, and -14 divided by -7 is +2. So then we're going to use one of our two mx plus b. We're going to use one of our 2 points, so it doesn't matter which one we want to use. Let's use this one. So our y value is 6, our m is 2 times our x value. So 6 is equal to -8 plus b. We're going to add 8 to both sides. So our y-intercept is 14. So y is equal to 2x plus 14. 2x plus 14. All right, so I see an x equals and I see a y equals. So if you only have an x or you only have a y in the equation, we're going to think of Bucks-Hoy, which will help us remember that if there's only an x in the equation, it's a vertical line. So I'm going to find y. I'm sorry. I'm going to find 4 on the x-axis right here. And I know a vertical line goes up and down like this on x equals y. I don't know why I can't. Oh my gosh. All right, what about y equals? If I have a y equals only, that means I have a horizontal line. So I'm going to go to my y-axis. I'm going to find -3, and I'm going to make a horizontal line on y equals -3. Number 24, we're going to think of this as a t-chart, and the first term is 0. The second term, let's write it this way. The first term is 0. The second term is -3. The third term is -6, so on and so forth. So what is our pattern? Our pattern is -3, -3, +1, +1. So our slope is -3 over 1, which is -3. So what would y be if x were 0? Well, this would have to be +3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So our equation is, our slope is -3x and our y-intercept is +3, because that's what y is when x is 0. All right, I think we're almost done. Almost. All right, so number 5, use the similar triangle. So our slope. So here we have how tall is our triangle? 2 over 1, 2, 3. Rise over run. The other one, if I did the how tall this triangle is, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Both of these simplify to 2 over 3. So the slope in simplest form is 2 over 3. Our y-intercept is just over 1. It goes through about 1. We're going to say it's about 1. So our equation is 2/3 x plus 1. All right, number 6, let's find 2 points that this line goes through. It looks like it goes through 0, 4, and 3, -1. want to find a corner. Those lines go right through. So let's do our, our rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, and it's a negative slope, negative 5/3. The y-intercept is positive 4. So the equation is negative 5/3 x plus 4. Number 27, write the equation of a line that passes through the point 0, 7 has a slope of negative 5. Well, 7 is the y-intercept because x is 0. So our equation is the slope is negative 5x plus 7 because 7 is the y value when x equals 0. An electrician charges customers $76 for each hour worked plus an additional $25 for travel. If H represents the number of hours worked, write an equation that represents this. So 76 for each hour. How many hours can he work? That's up to him. But basically his money is $76 times the number of hours he works plus his $25 fee for travel. That's it. So write an equation. So this is our slope. It's positive. I noticed that first thing. And then I'm going to do rise over run. So the rise is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 over 5 is just 1. So y equals 1x, which is just x, plus 1, 2, 3. Our y-intercept is 0, 3. Oh, that's it. All right, guys, I know that was a lot, but if you do well on this, I think the study guide is harder than the test. So if you did well on the study guide, you're going to rock it on the test. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I will see you guys later.